So I go in the bathroom, and guess what I see in the bathroom? Never have I ever had to go through a night where I literally... Hey y'all, welcome to another story time. As you guys can see by the title, this story is going to be about the worst trip I've ever been on in my entire life, which it was really bad in a lot of ways, but there was also a lot of good that came out of the trip, I will say that. But let's just get right into it. I went on this trip about 2 weeks ago now, and it was a work-related trip. So, background story, I had to go to Louisiana for work to do like work-related things. You know, I am okay with that. I love Louisiana. My dad's side of the family is from there. The food is always spectacular. It's a vibe, you know? I love the state. So I was kind of looking forward to it, even though we weren't going to like New Orleans or nothing like that. Like, I still was ready to go. And my manager booked her flights before me, and I'm not a fan of flying, so I was like, let me know your flight info so I can kind of like coordinate mine around yours so that like we'll get there at the same time. Or maybe my mom was like, maybe y'all could have the same layover. And I was like, my manager is coming all the way from the Midwest and I'm coming from the East Coast. We're both going to Louisiana. I don't know much about flying, but I just was so sure that there was no way that we would have the same layover. But sure enough, my mama was right. Mamas are always right. So I booked the flight that would have me on the same layover as her, the same connecting flight, which was in Atlanta. We met in Atlanta and hopped on that plane to Louisiana. We landed at 7:30. It's a very tiny airport where we went. And we're just gonna say the city we went to was called Ring. We went to Ring City. We landed in Ring City and the airport was tiny, which I love. I love tiny airports. Like, that's perfect for me. I don't like running around a huge airport, but this was definitely the smallest airport I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, so tiny in Ring City, Louisiana. And we get off the plane, we go get our bags, and we had to pick up a car that we rented. So we get to the car rental station, and tell me why we had to wait like 45 minutes for our car. At this point that we get like our bags and off the plane into the car rental spot, it's like 8 o'clock. And we didn't get out the airport until like 9, waiting for the car because they had to clean it still. Like, we rented this car, like, you know what, it doesn't even matter because I know other people were probably using it. But it was just so frustrating because we both had spent a lot of time traveling, especially her. Like, she left her house at like 5 o'clock in the morning, my manager. And she didn't even complain. I was over here like, I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. That was the biggest thing. Like, I'm so hungry. I just want to leave. Like, I want to take a shower. I want to eat. And I want to go to bed. And so I was just like, oh, this is the worst. This is so annoying. But nonetheless, we finally get the car. And it was a nice car. It was a nice car. It was a Durango 2022. Which, you know, it's just a Durango. But it was nice. It was nice. It was really nice. So we get in the car and we're like, where are we gonna go eat? And I'm like, you know, I'll find something since you're driving. She's driving. So I'm like, let's just go to this place that's like 10 minutes up the street and not too far from the hotel that we're staying in. So we go to the place. The food was spectacular. Everything was so delicious. We leave the place and we go to the hotel. This is where things start turning really bad. Like, waiting at the airport for the car was inconvenient and like annoying, but it wasn't bad per se. Like, it was just, it is what it is, you know? We get to the mother freaking hotel in Ring City, and I won't even call it Ring City. It should be called like Ring Town because it's not like a big city or anything. It's just like a town. We get to Ring City and my manager checks in first, and then I go to check in, and the lady behind the counter is like,
by the way, there's something wrong with your room, but maintenance was supposed to have fixed it. But if they didn't, just let me know.
And if you know me, you know I'm the type of person to like let everything slide and not really say nothing about nothing. Like, I don't want to cause no problems. I don't like confrontation. I don't speak up, period. Like, I'm just not the type of person to speak up. But y'all, this was the first time I've ever gone on a trip without a friend or family member. Granted, I had my manager with me, but like, I'm so grateful that she was there. But in terms of like having someone travel with me that's like a friend or a family member, like, that wasn't the case. Like, this was my first time. And I've been on other work trips, but usually I would always have like a friend come with me just because I always feel more comfortable going into these, like, flying by myself or like flying with someone, or like going into these small towns that are like usually very white. I'll just be honest, they're very white. And just like traveling solo. Like, I just prefer to have company. But this time I knew that we would be going from city to city to city, that like it just would have been too much to try to like lug someone around with me during the Louisiana trip. So I was like, it would just be so much easier for me to go by myself and travel to these different cities with. And when she said that there was something wrong with my room, I immediately, without a second thought, was like, what's wrong with it? Like, so out of character for me, because usually, like I said, I would have been like, oh, okay. But I'm like, my heart sank, y'all, because one thing about me, I care about a hotel room. I'll be the first to admit it, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. When it comes to going on trips, when it comes to work trips, vacations, I don't care. I care about a hotel room. But all our hotels were picked for us in this scenario on this trip, so I stayed there. So when she said like something was wrong with my room, again, my heart sank. I was like, what's wrong with it? Like, what? Why are you putting me in a room where there's something wrong with it? And I was like, what's wrong with it? And she was like, what's wrong with the tub? Like, paint maybe coming off the tub. She was like, I don't know, I haven't seen it. There's just a note left here. But like, again, maintenance should have fixed it by now. And you could still shower in there, but it's just not completely right. And I was like, okay. Whatever. It's annoying, but like, she said I could still shower. How bad could it be? You know, how bad could it be? So my manager and I get on the elevator to go to our rooms, and there's a sign in the elevator that says, I wasn't even reading it. Like, at this point, I was just completely checked out with everything. She was reading it out loud, but it was literally going in one ear and out the other. Like, all I could think about was praying and hoping that the room that I go into is not sketchy, dirty, nasty. And I'm just anxious. I'm just anxious at this point. I'm anxious. So she reading the sign in the elevator, and she's saying something about water quality, da 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 da. I have no clue what she's talking about. I cannot physically and mentally check into the conversation. So we're on different floors. So it's time for me to get off on my floor. And I get off. I go in my room. I put my suitcase down. You can still see my suitcase right here. I put it down. I take my shoes off. And I'm like, okay, I made it. It's time to unwind. The room doesn't look, off of first glance, it doesn't look dirty. And you know, they usually turn on like a little light in hotels, but not like bright lights. So I could hardly see, but off of what I could see, it didn't look dirty, but also I wasn't looking for dirt because it was just going to be one night because, again, we're traveling to different cities on this trip, and this is just Ring City stop 1. So I'm just like, I just got to get through the night, you know? I sit down on top of one of the beds, and next thing you know, I realize that I hear water dripping in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, is that the problem? Just that water's dripping? Like, that's not a big deal. Like, whatever. So I go in the bathroom, and guess what I see in the bathroom? This is what I want. Like, they didn't even have, like, they did not care. They didn't even close the shower curtain so that, like, it's not the first thing you see when you walk in the bathroom. Shower curtain wide open. Tub. I immediately, like, when I tell y'all, I did not know what to expect when she told me. And I did not know what to expect when she told me something was wrong with the bathroom. But that was not it. That was not it. I was completely thrown away. I left that bathroom so fast. I pick up the phone and call down to the front desk, and I'm like, ma'am, you told me something was wrong with the bathroom, and you were right, and you told me to let you know if it wasn't fixed, it's not. What can you do about this? Why did this woman tell me to let her know if the situation wasn't taken care of, if there was nothing she could do about it? She literally said,
I'm sorry, ma'am, but there's nothing I can do about it because we're sold out for the night.
And I was like, you're completely sold out? Like, I don't even have to stay in this same room. Like, it could be a suite. It could be a twin size bed type. Like, I don't care, but I do not want to stay in here. I don't feel right in here. This is disgusting. I can't even take a shower. Like, something has to be done. And she's like, absolutely not. Sorry, pretty much. Like, there's nothing I can do. So I'm just like in distress. Mind you, I find out by going in the bathroom, I find out that the sign that my manager was reading in the elevator was stating that, because there was another sign in my bathroom, it was stating that the water in Ring City is brown. But it's like, the water is brown, but don't fret, pretty much. Like, the water is super safe to drink and bathe in, but it's just brown because of wherever the water comes from. And I'm like, bro, I'm texting my best friend, I'm texting my mom, I'm texting my husband. There's a time difference, so my husband was already asleep, my mom's asleep, my best friend up, but she laughing at me. I'm like, bestie, this is not funny. She weak. I'm like, this is not funny. I'm actually in distress. And the way my mental health works is the tub being the way it was threw me off completely for the entire room. I did not want to stay in that room at all, let alone use the bathroom, wash my hands, let alone take a shower. I'm texting my manager. I'm like, this is crazy. And she's like, you know, my tub ain't perfect, but it's better than that. You can shower in here. And I'm like, okay, I'm good for tonight, but I'll come in the morning. Let me know what time to come. I'll come to your room and take a shower. So I literally was contemplating leaving and going to a different hotel. Like, look at these screenshots between me and my best friend. I'm thinking about leaving because, again, I'm completely psyched out mentally about staying in that room, period. I do not want to stay there. I decided to stay because my mom's like, you don't need to be going out there by yourself. Like, I don't have a car. I would have to Uber or Lyft, and it's just not worth it. She's like, it's just one night, da da da. She's calming me down, talking me down. And I'm like, okay, cool. I go back to my room. I literally, on one of the beds, notice a stain on the pillow. So I'm like, well, obviously I'm not gonna lay on that bed. I'm not even gonna lay in the bed. I take my shoes off and I'm wearing like a sweatshirt. It's nice and thick, thankfully, leggings and socks. And I lay on top of the bed, upside down, no pillow, no blanket, no sheets, nothing but me and my iPad, and try to go to sleep. Lights on that were already on, all that. Never have I ever had to go through a night where I literally slept like that. Fully clothed from the clothes I was wearing all day at the airport, socks still on, no pillow, no sheet, no blanket. Praying I don't have to use the bathroom in the middle of the night because I don't even want to go in there, which I did end up having to go like twice. But it was rough. I barely got any sleep. And then every time I woke up in the middle of the night, I was just counting down how many more hours I had until it was time for me to go to my manager's room to take a shower and get the freak up out of there. So surprisingly, my alarm wakes me up and I put on my shoes, text my manager, let her know I'm on my way. Go to her room. She's fully dressed. She's ready. She already put her luggage in the car and everything. And she was just going to go to the lobby, eat and drink some coffee. So she was like, the room is yours now. Like, literally left her keys in there. Like, I knew she wasn't coming back. And it's all yours. And automatically, like, stepping into her room, it was a completely different vibe. Like, it was like, it just felt cleaner. It was brighter. It was just a different vibe. And I was like, okay, I like this. So I throw my suitcase on the bed and take my stuff out, everything I need to take a shower. I'm undressed. I'm in the bathroom. I go to turn the shower on. You're probably thinking, how much worse could it get? I go to turn the shower on and water, brown water, is spewing out of the spout. Spewing. Like, if you like a lot of water pressure, this was the tub for you. Because the way that water was banging up out of that spout, that tub spout, I was like, Lord have mercy. So I'm like, let me just turn the shower on. Because obviously I'm not about to take a bath. So I'm, you know, the little thing on top of the tub spout, you pull up for the shower to come on. I'm trying to pull it up and it was not moving. Like, that joint was glued shut. I'm pulling as hard as I can. I'm pulling, I'm twisting, I'm pulling, I'm pulling, I'm pulling. I'm texting my best friend like, bestie. You will not believe. You will not believe. You will not believe. You will not believe what I'm going through. It's funny looking back, but like, wow, what a mess. So I just turn the water off and take a little bird bath in the sink. I take a little bird bath. I pack my own washcloths, put some soap on it, and just kind of like, you know, get the coarse spots and rinse it off and dry it off and put on my clothes for the day. And I did feel clean, at least clean enough. Obviously don't feel the way you feel after you take a shower, but I did feel clean and ready to go for the day. So that was nice, but like, wow. And then